The Green Bay Packers go on the road to face the San Francisco 49ers this week in what may be the best matchup of the 4 divisional round playoff games. San Francisco is currently installed as a 3-point favorite on BETDAQ, 45 the total in this game. Now these two teams played back in week 1, Lambeau Field in Green Bay. 49ers won that game 30-22, but I don't know how much we can take from that game. That was way back in week 1. These two different teams now, especially the San Francisco 49ers, they have a different quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, taking over for Alex Smith mid-season. Now, Kaepernick provides them with an element of explosiveness that was lacking in the offense under Alex Smith, and they have improved on offense, averaging 26 points per game when Kaepernick's been starting, as opposed to 22 points per game under Alex Smith. But Kaepernick is very inexperienced, and it remains to be seen whether that's going to hurt the 49ers at some point in this playoff run. But you can't blame Jim Harbaugh for sticking with him because, as we said, the 49ers offense has shown improvement since Kaepernick has been the quarterback. But when you talk San Francisco 49ers, you got to start with that defense. A dominant defense, second in the NFL in points allowed. They only allow 17 points per game. And the real matchup to watch in this game is going to be that dominant 49ers defense against Aaron Rodgers and that Green Bay Packers offense. Green Bay has the reputation for being an elite offense, and certainly Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback. But really, this season, Green Bay was not an elite offense for most of the season. They were in the bottom half of the league in total offense for just about the whole season. And it was tough to put a finger on exactly what was wrong. Now, they dealt with a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position. There's no question about that. Greg Jennings, their number 1 wide receiver, missed most of the year. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb also had some injury issues. And the Green Bay offensive line is not great. They're sort of average at best. Sometimes Rodgers looks like he's sort of running for his life back there. Now, he does have some mobility, so a lot of times he gets away and can make plays. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league. I don't think many people would dispute that. But as a whole, the Green Bay Packers offense has been much less impressive this year than they were last year when they led the NFL in scoring at 35 points per game. That being said, the Packers have improved on defense. Remember, last year the Packers defense was 31st, I believe, in yards allowed. This year they've been in the top half of the league the whole season. So better on defense, slightly worse on offense. Even though their offense does seem to be coming around now, they're peaking at the right time. The last 2 games of the regular season were 2 of their 3 highest scoring games of the season. And last week they scored 24 points in a 24-10 win over the Minnesota Vikings. Really, that game was decided in the second half. Green Bay sort of let off the gas, started running the ball a little more in the fourth quarter. I think they probably could have put up more points than that if they would have kept going. So I do think their offense is playing good football right now, and I think if you're a Packers fan or you're a Packers bettor this week, that's what you're relying on, is Aaron Rodgers in this offense. I mean, when it comes down to it, you could say, this is Aaron Rodgers versus Colin Kaepernick, and Aaron Rodgers is getting points. Looking at it from that perspective, hard not to like Green Bay in this game, and because of that, the Packers have been a very popular public bet out in Las Vegas this week. Nearly 70% of the public money coming in on the Green Bay Packers. And to be quite honest with you, when I first looked at this game, I was also leaning towards the Green Bay side because of what I just said. This is Aaron Rodgers versus Colin Kaepernick. However, over the last few days, I've sort of come around to the other side. You know, the 49ers have had a bye week. They're getting some guys back, most notably Justin Smith, one of their best defensive linemen. And really, San Francisco is better everywhere except for the quarterback position. And I know that's huge. You can't underestimate quarterback play in the NFL. And maybe Colin Kaepernick is going to be wide-eyed, deer in the headlights in this game and turn it over a couple of times. And if he does that, certainly I think the Green Bay Packers are going to win the game. But I don't know. San Francisco is much better on defense. They run the ball much better. I guess Green Bay is better in the wide receiving core as well. So the passing game for the Green Bay Packers is certainly better, but there's going to be so much stress on Aaron Rodgers in this game. We mentioned the Green Bay offensive line does not pass block very well, so it's going to take a great performance and a courageous performance from Aaron Rodgers to win this game. Meanwhile, Colin Kaepernick, he might just have to be asked to not do too much, just not hurt him. Basically what he's done ever since he took over. I mean, let's face it, San Francisco, they win with defense and the running game. They've been a top 5 rushing attack all year, and of course Kaepernick can run himself, and they've incorporated some elements of the read option and some design quarterback draws to take advantage of Kaepernick's ability. They've done a real nice job. Greg Roman, their offensive coordinator, And even though Green Bay has been playing better on defense this year, I expect the 49ers to have the same type of success that they've had over the last few weeks. I mean, this is not one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL. We mentioned earlier they're averaging 26 points per game with Colin Kaepernick under center. And I look for somewhere in that neighborhood from them in this game. But I have confidence in that defense. You know, Green Bay, I've seen them too often this season look bad on offense. I mean, sometimes they look like a dink and dunk offense with a bad offensive line. I think they only scored, I know over the last 2 games of the regular season they did, but still, I think they still only scored over 31 points 3 times all season after averaging 35 last year. So I can't emphasize that enough. They were much worse on offense for most of the season than they were last year, but you didn't really hear a whole lot of people saying that. And so I think Green Bay might be a little bit overrated and overvalued at this point, and a lot of people disagree with me now. A lot of people like them on the road this week in San Francisco. But I don't know. I'm going to back the 49ers here, and I'm going to lay the 3 points.